welcome to another edition of the Traction Reaction Podcast. I'm Steve Zautke, and joining us from Performance Tech Motorsports, who'll be driving the number 38 Ligier coming up at Road America is Rasmus Lindh. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And Road America, you know, of course, you've been there already, as most drivers have. It's an internationally known racetrack. Is that actually a track you heard of when you were back in Sweden growing up?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've been watching IndyCar when I was younger a little bit. So most of the tracks, you know, the big tracks. So Road America was one of them. So
is that a game, or is that a track you know, when you were online gaming on Xbox or whatever, it would show up on one of the games or something?
Yeah, it was Road America and Laguna mostly. So
okay.
Yeah,
running the corkscrew.
Yeah.
So this weekend you're running, of course, in the LMP3 class. What are your expectations coming into this weekend?
Quite high, actually. I mean, we're aiming to win the race because we have been fast every weekend, especially in the WeatherTech. I mean, we've been having a lot of podiums in the IPC with the Moto 6 car. So, I mean, the expectations are high. And also last year we were fast in IPC, me and Dan Goldberg, my co-driver. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we both like this track, so I'm looking forward to it.
And of course, the season started off in Daytona. And tell us, kind of walk us through the year so far.
Yeah, I mean, we started off in Daytona. It was my first 24-hour, and also it was two other drivers. That was the first time. So it's a bit of we were three young guys that was running the 24, and then we had Cameron Castles as well. So it was a big learning curve, really, because it was our first, I mean, you know, driving with GT cars and, you know,
sure.
So that was quite a big learning curve, and it takes time to get used to it and everything. So, I mean, it was very fun. Now I can say I've done my first 24-hour. And then we headed on to Sebring, which was good. I took the pole for the 12-hour and lap record. So started off good. We were leading the first 2 hours. 6 hours actually. Then we had a technical failure, so we had to retire. And then the week after, we had the race with the IPC. We finished second. Then we headed to Mid-Ohio with the both cars again, because I did the WeatherTech and the IPC at Mid-Ohio. And we finished second in the WeatherTech race. So, I mean, we've had some good podiums. Same again, we had a podium in IPC in Watkins Glen. So, I mean, we've been close to the podium every time. We had a few podiums, so it's just putting everything together, you know, and get a good result.
You know, with the 24-hour races and Sebring, and then with the 24 hours, you know, in the past it was more of an endurance race, and you're hearing more now that it's just go as fast as you can from you know, from the drop of the green flag. Was that true in your case? Was there any time where you wanted to, you know, is it a case, are you more concerned about the GT cars than the reliability at this point?
I mean, the 24 was a little bit different. We had one of the smaller engines, the 50 plus, that they relied that they could have then. And the other teams had the 56, which is the bigger engine. So it's a 5.6 liter, and we didn't get the engine in time, so we had to run the smaller engine. So we were a little bit slower on the straightaways. So we had to compensate to take drag out of the car and stuff like that. But I mean, we were leading the first 2 hours, and then we had an incident coming into the bus stop with a GTLM car. So I mean, also the brakes was a factor because nobody has done a endurance race with the P3 car. So nobody knowed. We knowed a little bit with the brake wear, but it was hard to know when we were doing the brake change and stuff. So we were going a little bit safer on the brake side.
And walk us over when you came over through your Road to Indy program, running up through F2000. How did that work?
It was good. I mean, I went directly from karting, so I finished 5th in the World Championship in England. And then that winter, I went over here and got an opportunity to drive USF2000. So I did the Griffiths test, and I was third at the first test, so it was my first open wheel test.
Okay.
So then we got in contact with Augie, and I did 1 year with Augie. We finished second in the championship in my first ever open wheel year. And then we went into Indy Pro. We had higher expectations. You know, the first year in open wheel cars, get used to everything and you know it a little bit better. So we were quite good in the beginning. I was leading with 30 points, I think, a little bit more until half of the season. So it was always a tight battle between me and Kyle. I mean, we ended the championship only 2 points behind Kyle, so it was a good fight. So it's been fun.
Is that something you think you might revisit if the opportunity comes, or is it strictly a sponsorship situation at this point?
The biggest thing now is the sponsorship, because I had the light season ready, 2020 with Ballardi. So I mean, I was almost P1 in every official test and top 3 all the time. So we were looking really good in Indy Lights. And also we did that one practice session in St. Petersburg where I was second. So it was looking really good. So it's just fight more and see what the future holds. So
yeah, absolutely heartbreaking for you guys and for the team too. And with Junko's Racing getting a shot of money from Brad Hollinger, is everybody been floating around by Junko's looking for rides and seeing what's going on there?
I'm not sure, to be honest, just because I've been in close contact with Ricardo all the time. So I just congrats him on that. I mean, that's good for him because he's been having a little bit of a hard time. So that's really good for him. And, you know, you want to see more cars in IndyCar every year. So it's more opportunities for all the drivers that's out there, you know. So I just think it's good for everybody.
With you coming from Sweden, do you guys talk to your fellow countrymen at all? I mean, is there a camaraderie with you guys in the open wheel series?
Yeah, me and Felix Rosenquist, we have the same manager. So it's Stefan Johansson. So I'm talking quite a bit to Felix. And I mean, Marcus Ericsson as well. So we're talking a little bit.
You know, Stefan's been, of course, you know, is must be an icon for you guys. He's someone that drove for Ferrari in Formula One, had success here in Indy cars and the kart series, and has represented so many drivers since then. What's your relationship with him? What were you excited when you first met him? Is he somebody that you knew about? Walk us through that a bit.
Stefan has been helping me for almost 10 years when I was back karting. And then we started to get more and more when I went into open wheel cars. So I mean, I talk to Stefan almost every day, so we're very close. And then when you think about everything he's been driving, you know, back in F1, he's been driving, you know, Champ Car and everything like that. So it's very nice to have one I'm that close with.
How did he help you getting through last year with COVID and everything? Did you have any words of wisdom? Or, I mean, how does someone in your situation, you know, obviously it was tough on a lot of people, but a situation like yours where, you know, you're at that next step, ready to make that next step, everything's looking good, and then it's pulled away from you. How does somebody react to that?
I mean, at first we didn't really know they were going to cancel the season because they just kept saying, oh, we're going to start up at this race and next race. And then all of a sudden they just canceled it. So it was big of a shock for everybody that drove Indy Lights that year to find a ride somewhere, because normally you sign before the season starts. So some of the seats were hard to get, you know, and then we took a different path to do some prototype racing and to learn the pit stops and stuff like that. So I got a good opportunity to race with Mr. Brent O'Neill and Performance Tech. So, I mean, it's been a different way to drive. I mean, to get used to and prototype and everything like that. But it's been a lot of learning for me, and that's been good and helpful. So it's been fun. Not the path that I wanted to go really, but it's fun.
Where are you living now? Are you living in Charlotte, Indianapolis, Florida, or?
I'm in Florida right now.
Florida, okay. It seems like those are the 3 places where a racing driver lives nowadays, either Indy, Charlotte, or somewhere in Florida. So,
yeah.
All right. Well, very good, Rasmus. Looking forward to meeting you this weekend up at Elkhart Lake at Road America, and best of luck to you and for the whole Performance Tech Motorsports team. And appreciate you taking time out today.
Yeah, thank you very much. See you then.
All right. Thank you.